So what's your creative process?
Oh, it depends what the project is, but something that I think a lot of writers who I work with forget is to decide before they put pen to paper or finger to keyboard, what am I trying to say? What is the one message? What's the one, I don't know, 5 or 6 words that I am trying to say with all this? Quite often I read a lot of student scripts and things, and quite often it's impossible to find in the script what they're trying to say, apart from to whinge about their parents or whatever it might be. So the first thing is I just decide, what is this say? What's this joke about? Once I've got that, then it doesn't write itself, but it becomes clear what can stay and what can go. Same thing if you're writing a film, like we're putting a script together at the moment, and it always comes back to that thing, that theme. What is this about? And in a movie, if you're interested in writing, say, a movie script, everything, don't be a smartass and think you're smarter than the form. Everything in the script, every scene, every line, every character, every event has to relate to what you are trying to say. Otherwise, you cut it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I think what a lot of people don't realize is that the editing process is part of the writing process. So if you write something, then the editing part of that is just as important as the actual getting pen on
Oh,
paper.
yeah.
How do you go with editing? Because I know when I first started getting my stuff edited, it really was difficult. It felt like somebody was sticking pins in my eyes, taking this thing that I thought was, immensely perfect. And of course they're going to offer me a contract, or of course they're going to turn it into a movie, and then to get it back with just reams and reams of red and changes in it. Like how do you go? How do you kind of reconcile the editing process?
Oh, I teach editors very early that any suggestion they make, I will just do. So once they've sent through a page of notes and they get a new draft back where exactly everything they've asked for is there, then they usually give me fewer notes because then they realize, oh, this isn't a discussion. He just does whatever we say.
Yeah.
The That's the only way to do it, is relax and just do what they say. And then at least you can both look at it and say, hey, that idea you had about the dolphin growing a moustache? It really stinks. I gave it a go. So, but I think a lot of people, particularly writers of drama, God help us, drama writers, um, drama writers find it really difficult to cut stuff, Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the reason behind that is because, they will say, but it happened to me, or it happened to a friend of mine, or I really want to talk about this in a very stern fashion. And so when someone says, yeah, you could kill the mother character, though, she's not really doing anything in narrative development terms, they will burst into tears and run around the house looking for sharp objects. It's uh, it's so important to emotionally disengage yourself from what you're writing,
Mm.
because when the audience picks up the book or walks into the cinema, they start emotionally unengaged, if that's the way to say it. They don't feel anything until it all starts. So you better just to decouple yourself from the material, um, which is, but that takes practice.
Mm.
Writing comedy makes it a bit easier. And that's because all you want is for it to be, a good story about good people that makes sense, but you really just want it to be funny. And so if somebody says, yeah, that bit's too confusing, it's not making me laugh, then you start screaming, get it off me, get it out, cut it, cut, 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 cut. I love cutting major characters. I cut more major characters at third and fourth draft level um, than most writers can even believe. But sometimes it takes 3 or 4 drafts to work out that, yeah, the mother character, yeah, she was funny, but she doesn't do anything in the story. She's not raising the stakes. She's not complicating things. She's not getting in the way of your protagonist. She's not giving us a new perspective on what it's like to be this character's mother. So you have to cut her.
Yeah.
Too many people are taught, I believe, the wrong thing, and this will this will make them gasp. This will make them have to go and put ice on their eyeballs. But the simple fact is, when you are telling 8-year-olds to write a story, you always say, so write about your weekend, or do my adventure based upon your holiday, or that kind of thing. So, you know, it helps to know what you're writing about. So write your story. People, for some reason, let 10 years go by in their life and they still think this is a thing. They still think, oh, it has to be a story infested with characters whom I know, about things that I've done in my own experience. This is all very well, except George Lucas wrote this ridiculous failure of a story about a young boy growing up on a distant planet called Tatooine, who meets an old guy, jumps in a spaceship and goes and kills several thousand stormtroopers on a distant planet.
And that turned out terrible for him, didn't it?
It just didn't work. So the idea of, if only George had written something that he knows about what some young guy who grew a beard and wanted to make movies. So if you are writing a story, particularly if it's a script that has anything to do with anyone you know, stop it, take it outside and set fire to it and write a damn story. Are you creative or not? Do you have ideas or do you not have ideas? I don't care what's happened to you in your life. It's not interesting. And you know why it's not interesting? The proof that a writer's life is not interesting to write about? Because their life is so comfortable, they can afford to be a writer. So where's the difficulty?